I think one of my biggest strengths in life is that I'm never completely 100% happy. I'm always the guy who's chasing more. There's no such thing as becoming anything worthwhile without adversity. There's no other way. This is what people don't seem to understand, is that adversity is the absolute key ingredient in absolutely anything that regards success. You want a six-pack, there's adversity in the way. You want to be a world champion, there's adversity in the way. You want money, there's adversity in the way. The sooner you become accustomed to adversity, and you no longer become adverse to the idea of it and the stress of it, the sooner as a person you can say, okay, fuck it, let's go. And you become tolerant, then the better you're going to be as a person. So when I have children, the number one thing I'm going to ensure is that there's as much adversity as possible in my son's life. Even if he has a comfortable life. I've got money now, but his ass is not going to have shit. Because he's going to be, one way or another, he's going to be struggling. Because I know that's how things are forged. They're forged in fire, and there's no other way to do it. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that everything wasn't smooth sailing. Yeah, this is the reality of life. And you look at the most durable people in the world, or the most durable countries in the world, the most durable societies. They're not easy societies.
No.
That's how people survive. I had a lot of important lessons from my dad in the days I lived with him, but one of the things he was very, very good at, he had a few fundamental themes throughout when we lived together throughout my childhood, and one of them was about excuses. So if I lost a chess game, for example, there was a chess tournament. It was 7 hours drive. We drove 7 hours. We stayed up all night. I stayed up with him. I played chess in the morning. I lost. I only had 2 hours sleep. And when I lost, I said, oh, because I was tired. And my dad made a very big point of saying, look, it doesn't matter if you were tired. Your excuse has fucking nothing to do with the win or the loss next to your name. You've lost now. No one's going to say he lost, but he was tired. They're going to say you lost. And this is the truth about excuses in general. Any excuse you can fabricate. Nobody cares. The universe doesn't care. Did you win or did you lose? Life is binary. Did you survive or not? If you come at me and say, oh, I'm fat because X, Y, Z, the girl in the club isn't going to be like, oh, well, he's out of shape, but it's okay because X, Y, Z. You're just fat. It's binary. Life's binary. So you have to make a conscious decision. Excuses don't exist. They don't have any weight. They don't matter to anyone else. So why should they matter to you? And as soon as you realize that all that matters is the result, and you have to be binary about your decisions, then you're going to start throwing all that crap away. And I understood that from a very, very young age. So even when I was a teenager in England and I decided I wanted to be successful, I didn't sit and go, I want to be successful, but I'm in a single room in a homeless hostel, single mother. I just knew I wanted to be successful. People are either going to view me successful or not. They're not going to care about anything else. If they're not going to care, I didn't care. It didn't enter my mind at any point. I didn't let it cloud my vision, if that makes sense. It never entered my mind. This is my situation. This is my scenario. So I have to do what I can do. And that was it.
You will often note that the best teachers on earth try very hard to not only tell you what you need to hear, but they will perhaps disguise it in a story or a parable, or there'll be hidden ways in which you can discover beautiful lessons which will change your life. And the fact that it's hidden is not to try and stop people from discovering it, but actually to make sure that when people do discover it, it is potent and people take action.
So when I was a kid and I was a chess player and I was winning,
started early.
My dad always encouraged me to brag. So yeah, you won. Go brag. Tell him you won. Like this is the real world. You won. Only losers are going to be upset when winners talk. This is how it goes. And there's obviously social norms. I'm not saying go through life and be completely unlikable. But if you wake up every day and you look in the mirror and say, you know what? I've looked around at what I see, and I'm up there. I'm the man. I'm the top 5%. I'm the top 1%. Like, who out there can do more than what I can do or lives better than what I do? You know what? I'm doing well. If you really believe that in yourself, then what's going to happen is you're going to feel motivated to prove it. This is the thing. It's very difficult. You have to have a mental disorder to have an ego with no justification. Those people have something wrong with them. But if you're going to wake up every day and work your ass off and make money and buy cars and train and be in fantastic physical shape and do all these things to prove your ego, so when someone comes along and goes, well, what's your problem? You say, I ain't got a problem. My life's good. Then you're going to have a very fantastic life. Why would you train or work hard if you don't have an ego? If you don't have an ego and you're not all about me and what I am and who I am, why would you even care? People without ego are the lazy people. Oh, I'm fat, but I don't care. I don't have a nice car. I don't care. I love myself way too much to be broke or fat because I'm me. So my ego is the absolute motivator. If someone comes along and goes, I have no motivation, then you have to say, okay, you're very, very happy being average. Why is that? But you know what? I've done a very, very good job. And this is exactly the exact thing I was saying. I've done a very, very good job at one way or another proving not saying that I'm the greatest man alive or anything, but a lot of people say I'm strong. But they say they're strong. Well, where's your proof? Or like that I can say I've done well now by this point in my life. I have accolades I can draw. And I can say, well, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And that's all down. That was all ego driven. There's no other reason to get in a ring and risk your life to fight some other psycho from the other side of the world besides ego. Why else are you going to do it? Money? I didn't get paid for most of my fights. I got paid pennies if you compare what I was doing. I saw 5 people die. I put a guy in a wheelchair for life. Like, what? This is not a joke. Like, you're not going to get in the cage and risk getting hurt forever. Unless you have an ego. This is the whole drive behind the whole thing. You said you could beat me? You think you can beat me? Okay, time and date. If I wake up every day and think I'm something special and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna prove it to people, then it's gonna give me a good life. So, you know, I'm uninterested in what other people do. Like, I know Ronaldo's good at whatever he does. And is that his name? Ronaldo? Whatever. He's a good football player. He gets paid a bunch of money. He's good. Whatever. I don't care. He doesn't pay my rent. I'm so uninterested. And I know it's obviously that's kind of counterproductive because as a professional, I relied on people caring about me fighting. And that's the way it's always going to be. But I think if someone were to come to me as a man and say, look, I want to be the man, I'll say, you better stop caring about anyone but yourself then. I think one of my biggest strengths in life is that I'm never completely 100% happy. I'm always the guy who's chasing more. I'm never content. I'm always like, okay, yeah, 3 world titles? I want another one. Oh, I've got a Lambo. Well, I want an Aston. I've got an Aston and a Lambo. Well, I want a Bentley. Well, I got an Aston, Lambo and a Bentley. Well, I want a Range Rover. Now I've got them all. So I am that dude. So, and a lot of me and my brother is probably one of the biggest ways we're different. He's not that guy. Tristan is much more content and laid back than me. I'm that guy who's always like, give me more, give me more, give me more. I've always been that way. Even when I was a kid, I was always that way. And I don't know, I've had some events in my life, some small events, which just ingrained in me. I think it's a combination of things. I think one is that being a fighter, you sense your own mortality more than other sports. Like, if you're a normal guy living a normal life, you don't feel any different at 22 as you did to 30.
Sure.
As a fighter, you feel it. You're like, wow, I'm getting old. I'm 32 now. And you're like, I can't do what I did at 23.
Yeah.
I am getting old. And then you start to think, okay, well, in 10 more years, I'm 43. And you start to realize that it's not about how long you live. For me personally, it's about how long you're young for. Those are your best years. Those are your prime years. Yeah. So I'm the guy who's like, I want it all. I want a helicopter and a boat and all these cars and loads of chicks. I want to go everywhere. I want this. I want that. I want that. And I've got some stuff, but there's a whole bunch of stuff I don't have. So I don't know if I'm ever fulfilled. That doesn't mean I'm miserable. I'm certainly not happy. I'm a happy person.
Sure.
Because I don't believe in unhappy. I think unhappy is situational. And if you change your situation, then you're going to change how you feel about it. I also believe that you can control your mind if you really try. The only thing, my friend, I'm telling you now, the only thing we have control over on this planet is our own state of mind. You can't even control your own health. You can go to the gym every day and still have a brain hemorrhage and die at random. You can have a heart attack like Bruce Lee. You don't know. You can't control the weather. You can't control anyone else. You can't control the planet. You can't control nothing. One of the only few things on this planet you can genuinely control is how you feel in your mind. You need to be sitting there waking up going, you know what? I have to conquer this. I'm not going to give in. It's down to me. And I'm going to control my own brain. You need to close your eyes, breathe in and out for an hour, and slowly generate some happiness from somewhere and resist. Resist it. The truth about it now, especially at the current point I'm in, there's a lot of suffering involved in my brand. Like, it's quite difficult to just get a nice car and get some money and say all these motivational things. It's motivation. And when you're speaking to try and fire people up, a lot of that comes from a place of pain. And I'm fortunate enough to have had enough negative experiences that I can articulate in a way that make people understand it. I had a really interesting conversation actually with a guy. I think it's another podcast that's going to come out, and he was a psychotherapist and he wanted to psychoanalyze me, and it was quite interesting. And he asked me quite a similar question. And I tried to explain to him, I am very, very sure I could speak to psychologists for the next 1,000 years. I know myself because I've tested myself.
Yeah.
And I know myself absolutely. And I know who I am and what I'm capable of. And I have absolute faith in myself. I have absolute faith in Andrew Tate. Not only Andrew Tate, but Andrew Tate of the past and Andrew Tate of the future. So even if I look back on my life where I made a wrong decision, I have faith that at the time I believed it was the right decision to make. And also I have faith that if I buy 9 supercars and somehow my businesses mess up and I run out of money, I have faith that Andrew Tate of the future is going to pull something off. He's going to do something. He's that guy. So it's like, I'm not really afraid of anything as long as I get to be me. As long as I get to be me, I'll pull it off. I'm one of them. I know I've got the skill set. I'm one of them dudes. I'm a survivor. You know, because I never sit around and cry about situations. It doesn't matter what happens to me. I know I'm going to find a way. So I'm not really afraid of anything. I have zero fear of going broke. I have zero fear of anything. Like it doesn't even, none of that even crosses my mind. I'm completely combat ready at all times. I've actually been quite fortunate in the fact that my social circle is probably one of the smallest in the world. And that's because it's my brother.
It's usually the best.
That's 85% of my social circle. And that's a superpower within itself. Like a lot of people ask me how I ended up red pilled and all this stuff about girls. And I said, because I wanted to be with my brother. I didn't want to be with some chick. Let's go watch TV. And I'm like, no, me and Tristan are busy. We're riding motorcycles and training and driving cars. And I don't want to. It's boring. So that was one of the reasons. So he was always with me 100%. I have a lot of old friends and stuff who are all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to Romania. I'm like, no, you didn't. Nobody wants to go to Romania. No one wanted to go to Romania until they saw me on the internet. And they see what I'm up to. And they're like, okay, now people want to go. Before me, it was a completely forgotten part of the world. So I do get a lot of that. But I mean, I'm to the point, man. I'm really not one for social norms. I'm to the point. If I think someone's trying to, take advantage, or I know they're trying to play games, it's very easy for me to say that I'm not interested, whatever. It is what it is. I have a very good life I live with my brother and my cousin. There's 3 men. We're all here. We're doing the same things. We train every day. We work every day. We make money every day. Between us, we've got 10 or 15 girls, and that's it. Like, I don't need any more than that, really, in many ways. I have my old kickboxing coach and a few people I've been to war with. Besides that, I keep my circle small. I don't really this is another point that goes on from what we were saying earlier. The more validation you can find from yourself and from your own achievements, the less validation you need from outside. If you need a big group of friends to feel happy, you need to ask yourself why. Like, I can be alone in a room with no cars, no money, nothing. I can be alone in a room and I know I'm the man. I've done it. I've been afraid. I've done sleepless nights. I've done broken bones. I've done it and I've been through it. I did it anyway and I won. So I'm happy regardless. So I don't have these big groups you see these rappers and they get all these idiots around them and all this. That's not going to happen to me. Never in a million years. Yeah, the fact that me and Tristan we're in a homeless hostel from an early age, these little things all add up, and we've just had this relationship where we've always worked together. If you put 2 or 3 full-grown men in the same room with the same goal, you'd be amazed what gets done. You'd be amazed if you take 2 or 3 men and they all wake up in the same place and they say, you know what, we're going to get strong, and I'm going to be stronger than you. And the other one goes, no, I'm going to be stronger than you. So all right, then let's go. You give that a year.
Getting's good.
Yeah, you give that a year and you see some strong men. Maybe you're not the strongest of the 3, but you're certainly stronger than you were when you started. Men are born to compete. This is what we were born to do, and it's been removed from life. There's no competition. And if you start to compete and you brag about it, you upset everybody. Well, welcome to the real world. I love the idea, the idea. I wish I lived with someone who could kick my ass. Every morning I spar these 2 and I school them. I'm jealous. They're jealous of me. I'm jealous of them. I want someone who can beat me. The competitive element is the fire of being a man. This is what's going to make you happy as a man. All the time I get messages, how do I be happy, Tate? I'm like, it's because you're not competing. You're not conquering anything. You're not doing anything. You need to go out and conquer the world. This is what men were meant to do. We're combatants. We're supposed to be out sailing the 7 seas and raiding countries and stealing wenches, and we're not doing none of that. You need to replicate it somehow in your life. And this is the problem with the whole space, is that I get the same thing you probably do. People come to me and ask for advice, and I just sit there and I look at their long message, and I sit and I know for a fact they're full of shit. Men build their value. There is no reason why every man cannot be in good physical condition, unless they've decided not to be. So you can't come along and say, oh, I really want girls, and you're fat. No, you can't, because if you really wanted them, you wouldn't be fat. Like, you're not trying. And there's no hacks in life. You're not going to hack your way to the top of anything. Maybe you'll win the lottery or something. There's the odd rapper who's a complete moron with a low IQ who becomes a multimillionaire. That's fine. But for most of us, there's a grind involved. And there's no easy way to the top. So completely agree. There's no reason why every single man couldn't go to a fight gym. And that's going to teach you more about life. Getting punched in the face will teach you plenty about life. Men build their value. So if you're supposed to be a leader of men, then you need to have at least built some value within yourself. That's what I believe. So if you're going to say I'm an expert on how to live life as a man, that's fine. Then you should have some tangible assets that you've built yourself. I'm not saying everyone has to be rich, but physical condition's an easy one, I guess. It's a very easy one. Like if you're a leader of men, why wouldn't you be in shape? Like there's no reason.
We have men out there that claim to be a leader of men, but get out of the shower and they look down and they can't see their own Johnson because their belly's in the way.
Yeah, this is what I mean. So it's very, very difficult for, you know, for me as a person to adhere to that kind of mindset. Like I've always been a leader by example. That's how I believe you should lead. And I try and do my best by showing things. And especially as a man, if you're going to build value and you're going to teach men to build value, you need to be building value yourself. One more point. It correlates more also with my worldview. My worldview is that excuses aren't important. And there's a whole bunch of people in the manosphere who are complaining about the way things are as opposed to just finding a way to win. The rules of the game are the rules of the game. Like women are this way. Okay. So like, well, I don't think you can change it. Like, don't you just want to find a way to win somehow? Like women are a certain way. So, but your primary focus should always be on yourself. So if you look at these day game guys, I always give shit to the day game guys. If they were to spend all that energy they spent walking around the mall, going up to every single girl they see in the gym or building a business, they wouldn't have to go around the mall going up to every single girl they see because they'd have some value. So certainly your energy should go into yourself. But yeah, if you see a hot girl, go talk to her. I don't think females should be the focus of your life. I think females are a complement to your life. You know, I don't think it should be the one and only focus. If you wake up every day, how do I get a girl? How do I get a girl? How do I get a girl? You're going to struggle. I wake up every day, still to this day, and I go, okay, I have to train. Okay, I've done training. Okay, I need to make some money. And when all my stuff's done, maybe I'll go to the club, maybe I'll see a girl. Like, you know, but these men are so focused on it, and it's just not going to work because it doesn't give you time to do anything else. If I'm having a hard day, I never sit and think I need to talk to this person. Even if I have like my brother and some people I'll talk to, I may be venting a little bit, but I'm certainly not looking for advice on what to do. I always make the call on what to do. I always already know what to do. I don't go to anyone for support. I don't turn to people for support. I don't turn to my woman for support. I think one of the main reasons I have such a fantastic relationship with females is because I never ask them for that shit. I really believe the reason I have the adoration of females is because they're with a man who they never have to babysit. They never have to motivate. They never have to convince to put the video games down. They never have to sit and say to him, oh, it's going to be okay. Like, I'm a rock. My life's great and it's on track with or without you. And I'm fine all the time. And when I have huge problems, because they do come up, I don't even mention it to my women. Because what can a woman do anyway? I mean, what, I'm mentioning it to her to feel better. I mean, she can't fix my shit. So I wouldn't even, if let's say I lost $3 million in a day, which has happened before, I didn't even tell my girl. What's the fucking point? What am I looking for? Sympathy? Sympathy ain't gonna buy me money, ain't gonna put the money in the bank. So
Comfort?
I don't, say again?
Comfort?
Do I need that shit? I need my $3 million back. That's what I need. Like, I'm a solutions-based man. You tell me who I can talk to about getting my money back, and I'll talk. I didn't talk to my chick about it. She was, yeah, no, I'll make you a coffee, dear. That ain't gonna fucking help me. So I don't turn to people for support or comfort. I don't. And I know that makes me extremely rare as an individual. And it's not something I'm not trying to brag or put on like a brave face and be a tough guy or something. It's just not how I'm conditioned. I believe that all of my problems are going to be fixed by me. That no one else is going to wake up and give a fuck about my problems the way I'm going to give a fuck. Nobody else is going to be prepared to go through what it takes to fix them but me. If I'm in the ring getting an ass kicking, not my coach, not my corner, not my fans, no one's going to get me out of there alive but me. It is me. So I turn to myself. If I have a problem, I'll sit in silence on my own. I'll turn to Andrew fucking Tate, and he said he'll get it done. Cause I don't, that's really how I am. When I used to see fast cars when I was young, it used to ruin my day. It used to make me angry. I'd be walking to college and I'd see a Ferrari and I'd be like, how does he have 300 grand for a car? I haven't got $30 in my pocket. That's all my money in the world. Like, I felt like there was a whole reality that I was missing. There's some kind of hack. Because even then, at age 15, I remember this story very specifically. I'm walking to college, me and three of my friends, we see a Ferrari. I look it up. I find out how much it costs. And even then I'm saying to my mom when I got home, if you work a good job, like how much do you make a month? She's like, oh, maybe make 3,000, 4,000. I'm like, that still won't buy that car. Like, how did this guy get that car? It didn't make sense in my mind. And I think that's one of the key elements to things like success and cars and stuff. If you really want it, you'll find a way to get it.
And if you don't really want it, you're not.
We'll find an
And
excuse.
yeah, you think of an excuse. And I think a lot of the reason people don't like cars is, well, they'd love cars if they could buy one, but they'd rather pretend they don't like them because they don't believe they're ever going to be able to afford one.
Most of you are going to end up exactly where you're heading. You have a path laid out in front of you, and it's pretty clear where it ends up. You're going to be a normal guy. You're going to have a mediocre life. Average, maybe above average. And that's fine, right? Because everyone has a normal life. And being normal or average is just failing so like the other people around you that you don't see it as failure anymore. The truth is, as the world becomes more competitive, naturally it becomes more polarized. There are going to be more ultra rich and more ultra poor. As things get more difficult, it's just lower the barrier for what normal is. It is getting more and more difficult. Normal is no longer acceptable. And most of you, truthfully, are on a path to normal. Most of you are too lazy and too arrogant to put in the work and listen to the people who know and genuinely humble yourself and grind the way you need to grind to make any of your dreams come true. Start to actually consider the life you're building for yourself. Consider how your woman will look at you when you walk in the room. Will she respect you? Will she adore you? Would she die for you? I don't understand how you men at home are not furious at yourselves. If this video speaks to your subconscious on any level, you should feel deep shame because you're not a fraction of me. And perhaps you never could be me, but you could certainly be better than you are. And you're not even close to that. You are monumentally failing yourself. You're monumentally failing your bloodline. You're on the road to nowhere, and you don't seem to care.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point. There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, et cetera, I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever, but I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. And that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change. That's life. That's humanity. So I say this to people all the time. If you know you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with, why are you hanging around with people you don't want to be? The world has become exceptionally easy for a lot of men. It used to be a different place. Most men were cannon fodder. Most of us would have ended up in wars, dying for fucking no reason. Damn. Now we don't have to do that. So because we don't have to do that, men think it's okay to just become comfortable now. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You were never evolved to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. Right. And if you make yourself uncomfortable constructively, it's very easy to be anything you want. And in life, you get one shot.
Damn.
But if you get some balls, that's what life is as a game. That's what life is as a man. This is one big video game. You get to upgrade your character. You're not born with any value. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. Just like a video game. You start